then we will be a stronger country. We're trying to bring things back instead of globalizing every single part of our world so that you and me can have a future for our children. Let's go ahead and get into some of what is being talked about today. We have a lot of things to cover. We haven't done a video like this in a couple of days where we show what's going on in the world from the media perspective. So let's go ahead and dive right in. Now here is Scott Bessent. Let's take a look at what he has to say.
Is really a tax on consumers. What do you say?
I say a couple of things. One, we're seeing the CEO of Walmart is pushing back on his Chinese suppliers, and he is telling them they have to eat all the tariff increases. They're the largest retailer in America. I think 40 million Americans go into Walmart every week. We saw in Trump 1.0, prices didn't go up, and if we have that happening at the same time, we are able to use that income to provide President Trump's tax agenda. No tax on tips, no tax on Social Security, no tax on overtime, and making auto interest deductible for American cars. That's a home run for working class Americans.
Yeah. Okay, so there is a lot of talk about how we are going to be a stronger country with these tariffs. Let me tell you, we are facing a nuclear agenda here. And I mean a world-ending, economy-ending agenda. China.
All praises and glory to Yahweh Ba'asham Yahushua. Ba'asham Ha-Rakakwadash. Double honors to our apostle elders which rule great millstone well, and shalom to the hopeful elect of the nation of Israel. May you endure into the end. Shalom wa. So this shows you the free market is dead. Okay, not the flea market, the free market. It says free market, dictionary, Oxford Dictionary definition, an economic system in which prices are determined by unrestricted competition between privately owned businesses, a free market in broadcasting. All right, so we're not in a free market, which the customer determines the price of goods, right? What the customer will pay is the price of the goods. We're in a time where they're raising the prices because the wicked are ruling. The so-called Caucasians, they are the wicked that rule the world today. Job 9 verse 24. It says the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. The wicked is that so-called Caucasian. The red devil the Bible speaks of, which you look at them, they're red. They're not white. Especially if they wear white collars or white t-shirts, you can tell that they're very red. He covereth the faces of the judges thereof, which he hides the truth of the dark ages. And beyond that, changing history, they put their images up instead of the true images of the dark people ruling. They'll put their images up, right? They'll make the Egyptians look like they're so-called white people. They'll make the Israelites look like they're so-called white people. They'll make everybody in history look like they're so-called white people when in fact they were people of color. So he covereth the faces of the judges, the Israelites, thereof. If not, where and who is he? Who is it that has done this besides the so-called white race? And what it's called is iconoclasm. Let's see. Iconoclasm, which this word only came around in like the 1600s. The action of attacking or assertively rejecting cherished beliefs and institutions or established values and practices. The reaction or destruction of religious images as heretical, the doctrine of iconoclasts. And they show you right away the image of white Jesus, so-called white Jesus, that other white meat, right? And they covered up a dark image. And that's why you see these halos behind their head, because it was an afro, a so-called black man with an afro. But they put a so-called white man with stringy hair, so they got to put something to cover up that afro. See? But originally, it was dark people, just like that right there. You see, it would have been a woman with an afro covered up and a little child with an afro. But they had to hide the afro with other images, which they call halos. As you can see, it would have been dark-skinned people. See? But they covered it up with images of white people. All right? This is what the so-called Caucasian does. All right? He's a liar from birth, and he destroys the earth and weaken the nations. Isaiah 14, verse 12. How art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer? Lucifer means light bearer. It's talking about America. Everyone comes to America to get money or to, they want to come here. They don't want to go to Iraq or Iran, all right? They want to come to America. It says, Son of the morning, how art thou cut down to the ground, which didst weaken the nations? And that's what he's doing. He's weakening the nations with his Christianity, with his democracy, with his sodomy, with his tariffs. All right, they weaken the nations, and so the Lord is going to have this devil receive what he deserves, which is Isaiah 3. Verse 11, woe unto the wicked, it shall be ill with him, for the reward of his hands shall be given him. Which it tells you in 2 Ezra 15 that the cities are troubled because of this so-called white race. 2 Ezra 15, verse 18, for because of their pride, the pride of that so-called white race, the cities shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. All right? And why will he be afraid? Because he knows that he has but a short time. Revelation 12, verse 12. It says, therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil, the so-called white race, is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he had but a short time. Which, what is he going to do? He's going to cause inflation. Revelation 6, death and inflation. Famine, death, and destruction. It says in the famine, which the rider of the red horse is Edom, the so-called Caucasian, which was given power to take peace from the earth. It says in verse 5 of Revelation 6, and when he had opened the third seal, Yahushua is the one opening the seals, I heard the third beast say, which is an angel, come and see. And I beheld, and lo, a black horse, and he that sat on him had a pair of balances in his hand. But this is what follows Edom. All right, when the so-called white man is in power, what follows him? Death, famine, death, and destruction. It says in Revelation 6, verse 6, and I heard a voice in the midst of the four beasts say, a measure of wheat for a penny, and 3 measures of barley for a penny, which was a day's wage. So it's going to cost you all your day's earning to buy 1 loaf of bread. And see thou hurt not the oil and the wine. Right? So the elect, we're going to eat while everybody else starves. We're going to drink while everybody else starves. All right? And the famine is going to be caused by Edom, but it's going to be sent from Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. 2 Ezra 15, verse 5, behold, saith the Lord, I will bring plagues upon the world, the sword, famine, death, and destruction. The sword is that so-called white man, which follows him is famine, death, and destruction, which he was given a great sword, the nuclear missile. Shalom to the elect, wa abba.